Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa and I'm a flight attendant with a major US airline. And today I thought I would start out this video a little bit different. So I am here in San Diego on a layover, and it's one of those tricky layovers where I have to work a red eye back. So I tried with all my might to work in another sleep, but it just didn't happen. It's 7 o'clock. I have to be downstairs at 9. I lied there for a couple of hours just tossing and turning, so I think that my brain got a little bit of rest, but I did not get any fulfilling sleep. I'll put it that way. No fulfilling sleep for me. So I thought I'd start out this video a little bit different because I received a couple of comments wanting me to explain how flying standby works and to explain a little bit about our travel benefits as flight attendants. So I'll go through that. So I do commute, which means when I say commute, I'm getting on an airplane and I'm flying from Orlando to Miami, my home base, and I don't pay any money for that ticket. And the beautiful thing is it's cheaper than if I had to drive down there. Otherwise I'd have to pay for tolls, I'd have to pay for gas in my car, and then I'd have to pay for parking in Miami because I already have reimbursed parking in Orlando, and I can't have two parking passes in two different places. I don't want to go down the weeds there, but basically it cost me $0 to travel from Orlando to Miami to go to work. Now I do fly standby, and our commuter policy states that you have to give yourself 2 chances to fly into your base at least 1 hour before report time. So I follow the commuter policy. In the event that you did do that, I'm going to make this as basic as possible because the guideline is pretty lengthy, but in a nutshell, if you give yourself and you follow those 2 flights to get you in at least 1 hour before report time, then if for some reason, if something happened to one of those flights or you couldn't get on, then you're covered, and you won't get in trouble for not making your trip. The point will be removed, like the negative point. So that's basically in a nutshell, that's what the commuter policy is. I give myself 2 chances, and what I do is I just hop on to the website that we use and I look up to see what the flights look like, pay attention to the loads, and when I mean loads, it tells me how many seats are available. And I book myself and I give myself at least 2 chances to get to my home base. Now I am flying standby, which means that I'm occupying a seat that a passenger is not. So that airplane's going to be going from point A to point B, and if there are any seats left over, then they start going through the standby list. Now, there's also priority and standby lists based on what type of pass you're using. So I have personally, I believe unlimited number of flight benefits to fly places, but I only get 6 of special, not preferential treatment, but a higher priority pass, which puts me at the top of a list. So if you have that particular pass, then you're above the other coded passes. So I'm trying not to make this too complicated, but let me know if you have questions. I'm doing the best to try to explain this. So for those 6 priority sort of passes, I like to use those if I'm going to travel somewhere for leisure. Say I want to go on a vacation to Europe somewhere and I want to make sure that I'm going to get home on time so that I can work. Then I would use one of those priority passes because I feel like I don't have a whole lot of time to play with. But if I'm following the commuter policy, I'm not going to use one of those passes. But yeah, so I guess that's what I'm trying to say with that. So flying standby, you occupy any available seats that are there. And then plus as a flight attendant, you could also occupy the vacant jump seats. And I've had luck. I've had luck commuting from Orlando to Miami. I've been doing it for over a year now. There was only one time that I missed a trip, but that was my own doing. I only allowed myself 1 flight to get there, and it was during the summer, all of a sudden Orlando got this summer storm that came through, and it heavily delayed the flight, preventing me from making it to work on time. So in my whole year of commuting from Orlando to Miami, there's only been one time that I've ever had to call and say that I wasn't going to make it in time for a trip, and that was because of my own doing, not following the commuter policy. So it is doable. And then as a flight attendant, you do get flight benefits, which means that you can travel wherever American goes or American Partners goes. And in many times, you don't pay anything for that if you are traveling in the United States. If you travel abroad, then you pay taxes on your ticket and I think airport fees, which, for example, I know London Heathrow is one of the most expensive airports there is. So when I have flown to London, like I went there to see the Christmas lights once, that trip cost me $178, but I also got first class. So I got first class to Europe, which had the fold down beds, which had the premium service, which they gave me pajamas and a sleep mask and amenities. It was wonderful. And that ticket cost thousands of dollars. And it only cost me $178. And that is one of the most expensive airports, I think, that charges that we have to pay fees on. And speaking of flight benefits, you also get flight benefits for your immediate family, or if you're not married or you don't have a significant other, you can sign up a companion. Say you have a brother, a sister, or a parent that you want to add as your one companion, you can register them as your companion, and they pretty much have the same, aside from being able to ride in a jump seat, they have the same level of benefits that you do. They get the 6 premium passes and all of that. So yeah, that's a wonderful perk for being a flight attendant. So yeah, definitely you can see lots of places, not only on your layovers, but it's a way for you to explore the world on a budget. So if that's something you're interested in, then seek a job. I know that also if you take on like one of the airport jobs, like gate agents or any of the ramp people, I know they get benefits, flight benefits as well too, with most companies that I know of. So something that you may want to look into. So it is 7:23 right now. I have to be downstairs at 9 p.m. and it's just one leg. It is from Miami. No, sorry, I'm in San Diego. I'm going straight from San Diego to Miami. Should be pretty easy. I imagine a lot of the passengers are going to be sleeping. Our departure time is just after 10 p.m. here in Miami, and our arrival time, no, I keep saying in Miami, sorry. Our departure time here in San Diego is just after 10 p.m. Our arrival time in Miami is at 6 a.m. So I imagine lots of passengers are going to be sleeping. So the hardest part for me is going to be staying awake. But I tried to have a nap. As you could see in the little video earlier, I just was unsuccessful. But stay tuned. I will take you along with me on this adventure, and I will do my debrief as usual. I don't expect it to be very entailing because I think it's going to be an easy flight, but you never know. So stay tuned to find out what happens. All right, come with me on this adventure. Now back to earlier this morning. I'm just waking up and it's that time again, coffee time. I got 9 hours of sleep last night, so that's pretty good. I went straight to bed. I didn't even wash off my makeup. I brushed my teeth and hopped in bed. I did wake up at 4 a.m. to check myself in for my commuter flight back to Orlando. That check-in was at 7:04 Miami time, so 4 a.m. San Diego time. So I did wake up, set my alarm for 4, and then check myself in, and then I set my alarm for 9, but it's only 8:30. I'm gonna get up because it's 8:30 here, 9, 10, it's 11:30 in Miami. I feel rested. I'm just going to have a cup of coffee now and just continue to wake up. On this layover, I did venture out. Not too far from my hotel, there is a place called Liberty Public Market. This public market is open 7 days a week, and they also have an event center. But there are a variety of different restaurants, coffee shops, quick service places, and lots of different crafts and works by different artisans for sale. There were some bohemian type clothes that were there, anything, makeup, trinkets, you can find it all here. And the parking is free, did I mention that? So I went out earlier around I think it's called the San Diego Public Market, and I had some brunch. I had some tasty chilaquiles with black beans, Spanish rice at a place called, let me look it up, at a place called Breakfast Republic. It was very tasty, but it's such a popular place. Oh, today's also President's Day, so maybe that's why I was extra busy. Anyways, had to wait for a little bit, but finally got sat and had a nice brunch. And then I came back to my hotel room. It's now 3:20. I think I dozed off for an hour and a half, but I need more sleep. I need more sleep than that because I'm going to be working all night a red eye, and I don't get back to Miami until 6 a.m. So I'm forcing myself to sleep. But yeah, those little pictures that I showed earlier, not pictures, a little video I took, is from walking around the little market area here in San Diego. It's all very nearby, it's very nice, and I got out and did a little something on this layover. All right, it is 8:40. It's time to head downstairs to get ready to head to the airport. I just checked our loads and we are going to be a full flight, but that's okay. It's most of the time, all of our flights are always full, so that's not different. I'm going to go ahead and turn off some lights here and be on my way. Let's go. And the lobby of this hotel always feels so fancy. I just love the chandeliers. And on the weekends, this hotel hosts tea parties. And most recently, when Wicked was playing, they had a Wicked themed tea party that they would do on weekends. I'm so bummed I missed that. That would have been amazing. I definitely would have done that. Okay, so now I am done with that 3-day trip. I am back home. It was a red-eye flight. I was not able to get any sleep. I tossed and I turned. I even drew the shades. But you know what? If anything, my body and my brain got a little bit of rest, even though I didn't sleep. But I tried my best. Usually I'm able to catch a nap, but I wasn't successful in trying to nap before I had to report downstairs by 9 p.m. So I was tired on that flight. With it being a red eye, we left San Diego just after 10 p.m. So that is 11, 12, 1 a.m. Miami time. So yeah, about halfway through that flight, I had like the long blinks, you know, when you blink your eyes and it lasts a little bit longer than it should. So I got up and I just stayed standing and I had a little snack to keep me awake. So that's how I fought off that tiredness. About half the flight was bumpy. So the first half of the flight, the first couple of hours was pretty bumpy. But I think that helped like rock the passengers to sleep because most of the people slept on that flight. Once we did go out and do service, there weren't a lot of people awake wanting snacks or drinks. So, you know, which is good. That's the good thing about red-eye flights. If you're able to sleep on airplanes, catch a red-eye flight, because then if you're able to sleep, you sleep that ways, you wake up, you're at your destination, you have a full day to do whatever it is that you want to do. Two people did get sick on our flight, and when I say sick, I mean like nauseated. They tossed their cookies. One was like a 13-year-old boy, and the other one was a woman. Yeah, so I gave her ginger ale, an ice pack. Towards the end of the flight, she was feeling better. I think once she just kind of got that out of her system. But like I said, the plane ride was bumpy, and sometimes it upsets people's stomachs. So that might have been also what contributed to her not feeling the best. We landed in Miami about 5:45 a.m. I had booked myself on a 7 a.m. flight home, so I had 45 minutes to get to the gate and get boarded, which I was able to do without a problem. And on that little flight home, the 36-minute flight home, I definitely took a nap. I definitely dozed off. And I made it inside my house just after 9 a.m. And when I got home, I went straight to bed and slept until noon. So that's how I wrapped up that part of the trip. Now that trip is over. I'm home. I have 2 days off. And in those 2 days, I will buy some stuff to pack for my next trip. But the next trip, I can't take any fruits or vegetables because I will be going to Mexico City on one of those days. And they are very strict about what you bring in or out. And if you violate their rules, like for bringing something you're not supposed to, then they will put your name in a book, and I don't want that to happen. So that's it. I'm going to end this video here. I hope that I was able to explain how flight benefits work a little bit to give you a better understanding, but if something isn't clear or you still have more questions, definitely let me know. And like always, if you enjoyed this video, please be so kind and give me a thumbs up. And to see new videos, if you have not yet subscribed, then please subscribe to my channel right here. All right, guys, until next time, bye-bye. I'm off to run errands.